you feel like the success of your organization is 100% on your shoulders? Or are you concerned that if you step up as a leader, then it really will all fall to you for the responsibility of achieving success? Good news, there are 4 keys you can implement to improve your team development skills, because great leaders know that it doesn't all ride on them, but it's what they can do with their team, what they can do all together. They know that their team members are vital to the success of their business or organization. I'm Melody Barker, and I want to thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Each week, you'll get a new video that will help you develop your leadership skills, boost your confidence to lead, and encourage you to pursue your purpose. After personally struggling with being in a leadership role but with no leadership skills, I decided to invest in myself and invest in my potential. It took years to get to where I am today, but the effort was worth it. Some of it required personal development and some of it required character development, but I can tell you that it was worth it. And I went from being in a boss and management position to leading my team and creating lifelong relationships. All of the hard work and dedication paid off. Therefore, I'm passionate to help leaders develop their ability to lead with excellence, maximize their impact, and grow their organization. Simon Sinek, the best-selling author of Start With Why, has said being a leader is not about the position that you're in. It's not about the title. It's about helping the person to your right and helping the person to your left. That's leadership. He even says this in a motivational speech. Don't you want to wake up for the only reason that you can do something good for someone else? And don't you want someone else to do the same? To me, that is the epitome of leadership. It's waking up to do good for those around you. Great leaders know that their purpose is greater than what they can achieve on their own, so they value their team members. They value the development of their team. They watch out for who's on their right and who's on their left and how they can help them. So here, let me share with you this scripture that even helps us understand it today. Now we ask you, brothers and sisters, to acknowledge those who work hard among you, who care for you in the Lord and admonish you. Hold them in the highest regard and love because of their work. Live in peace with each other, and we urge you, brothers and sisters, warn those who are idle and disruptive. Encourage the disheartened, help the weak, be patient with everyone. Make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always strive to do what is good for each other and everyone else. 1 Thessalonians 5:12-15. So even in that scripture, we see encourage the disheartened, help the weak, be patient with everyone. Make sure no one pays back wrong for wrong, but strive to do what is good for each other, for everyone else's sake. That is leadership into a tiny little nugget of scriptures. So how can you apply this scripture with the quote from Simon Sinek so that you can wake up and be doing good for those around you? You can do this simply by investing in those that are to your right and to your left, to those people that are part of your team accomplishing the mission or the vision of your organization. Here are 4 essential keys for you to apply so that you can become a better leader. If you're not an official leader or you don't really have the title, that's okay. You can still apply these 4 keys to the relationships that you're in with those that you're connected to. Number 1, becoming a better leader starts with focusing on the strengths of your team members and how they can fulfill their position. Develop the strengths of your team members. Recognize that strengths and helping them build their strengths is not about competition. Great leaders understand they want their teammates to succeed. They want to see the overall team win at what they're working on. A great leader strives to see the success of their team. Simon Sinek goes on to say this: leadership is not about being in charge, but about taking care of those in your charge. Leadership is not responsible for the results. They are responsible for the people who are responsible for the results. Number 2, becoming a better leader means to be a better listener and slower to speak. So listen and be the last one to share an opinion. Allow others to share from their perspective before you share your own. Proverbs 11:14 says this: without good direction, people lose their way. The more wise counsel you follow, the better your chances. That's Proverbs 11:14 in the Message translation. So consider this: asking your team for their opinion or for their perspective lets you hear from a multitude of opinions and backgrounds and experiences, so they can help shed light on the situation that you're in and help you find a way to move forward. This is the beauty of inviting wise counsel into your business and into your organization. You will learn from the perspective of others. You may not agree with it, you may not like it, but that's okay. It's somebody else's perspective that helps shed light to an opinion that otherwise you wouldn't have seen. This is really similar to the idea of having a blind spot. When you talk to your team and ask them questions and hear from their perspectives, they're going to make you aware of something you may not have seen before. It's similar to driving a car and looking back to check your blind spot and seeing that there's no one there, but then you go to change lanes and you hear a loud horn. That's your blind spot. Well, for leaders to identify their blind spot, they have to welcome the thoughts and feedback of those on their team. Getting that feedback is going to come from asking questions and hearing from your team. And again, being slower to speak. Invite them to share their opinions and see what you'll discover just from opening up your perspective beyond what you see on your own. A great way to ask your team questions is to phrase them in a way that come across as non-threatening. So non-threatening means that they have a better tone and it's not a explain to me why, or you did it like this and it didn't work out. Why did you do it that way? You definitely want to make sure that you come across as non-threatening. And again, these are keys that you can implement in every single relationship that you're in. You can ask, now that you've completed this, how did the process work for you? What do you see could be done better? Or how could you make it more efficient? Another great thing about asking questions and allowing your team the freedom to work through the process and then ask for their feedback is you can see how they have done it and how it's possible to do it better. People retain more information and value it better when they have experienced it themselves. They retain the process better when they have done it versus when they're told how to do it. So in this, be the guide. Give them the leeway to learn and process the protocol or process the procedure that's in place, and then ask those questions to get feedback. Can they do it 80% as well as you did? Or even this, can they do it 50% as well as you'd hope for them to? If that's the case, you can coach and train them to go from that 50% or that 80% and reach that 100% marker or that ideal completion rate that you can have for that outcome. Number 3, becoming a better leader means you empower your team to do their work and make decisions. Empowering people to work towards the vision means that you're giving them the knowledge, the skills, and the training that they need for their success. This is a vital practice for every organization that wants to grow. You have to understand the importance of investing in your team, giving them that ability and that empowerment to make decisions. And if they make a mistake, then coach them how to work through the process to get the right outcome or a better outcome. In a previous video, I talked about the importance of delegating. So when you've empowered your team, you've delegated a lot of responsibility to them, and you do want to check back in with them, but not become a micromanager. You want to encourage them to find success, to strive for that next level of excellence, and to move forward. You need to encourage your team on a continual basis. You need to motivate them through your passion. Your encouragement in them is going to help them reach for that next level of excellence. I promise you, you'll begin to see a turnaround in your team the more you encourage them and empower them to do their best work. When people feel empowered by their boss or by their leader, they actually have more confidence and they will do better work. When they know that their job is part of a greater purpose, it's greater than just receiving a paycheck, they're more fulfilled. Number 4, becoming a better leader means that you honor and support your team members. Honor them and support them. What does that mean? You're respecting them. You believe the best for them. You expect the best out of them and out of yourself. You speak highly of them and you encourage them. You value their time and you value investing in them. You're collaborating with your team and making the mission come to life every single day. These are people that, yes, you may be working with, but you're still doing life together. So be sure to honor them and respect them. And here's what the Bible says about honoring and respecting each other. Romans 12:10 NIV, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. In the ESV version, it says this, love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. What does that look like and how can you implement that in your day-to-day life? Well, let me give you an example of a business owner not honoring one of their employees so that you could see, is this something that I do and is this something I can learn from? I was coaching with a company and the founder received an email complaint from a client saying that they had left a message and sent an email to an employee and they had not heard back. The founder asked me from a coaching position to step in and see what the process was for the employee to see if there was a place for improvement or a way to make the system better. I met with the employee. I asked them, what's your system in place for returning messages and phone calls to make sure nobody gets missed? She went through a very detailed protocol for her desk procedures and showed with me it's a very simple step-by-step guide to make sure no one gets missed. I did ask her about this one particular client who said that they called and emailed and wanted to see if she had talked to them or had reached out to them and how much time had passed between the original call and the message being returned. Amazingly enough, the client called and emailed on the same day, and they received an email and a phone call back that same day. The employee was doing their very best job, but because the client complained to the founder wanted to see what exactly was going on. So in addressing this with the employee, I asked them, what's your procedure and how did that go? And she showed me the email and the date and time that she called back the client. It was within the same day. Can you imagine that's such great customer service to provide? For the founder, they questioned their employee's ability to do a good job. And instead of going directly to them saying, hey, this is a complaint from a client, can you please make sure you take care of them, or have you already reached back out to them? And then that founder could have directly emailed the client back saying, please check your emails again. The email was sent on such and such date. I'll have them call and return another call again. But that's not what the founder did, which was disappointing. The employee ended up asking me saying, does the founder not believe in me? Does the founder not have faith that I can do a good job or that I want to do a good job? And here was that client and the employee. And the takeaway from the employee was, I feel like my boss does not have my back. I feel like she's going to trust a client more than she would trust me. Becoming a better leader means that there is a relationship and trust that's in place. For like this client, the client should have understood that maybe there was a delay in the process, or maybe they needed to check their emails or something that came up. But again, that email was returned within the same business day. For the founder should have spoken up for her employee and said, she's excellent at what she does. I'll get back to you. I'll see what happened or if this fell through the cracks. But employees and teams need to know that their leader has their back. 100% of the time, your employees or your team members should know that you'll step up, you'll defend, and you'll help them reach their greatest level of success. When you've truly led a team, you recognize that you're no longer coworkers. It's no longer an employee-employer relationship. You truly become like brothers and sisters, and it becomes lifelong relationships even long after the position may have ended or moving on to another company. Why is this? Because you've worked through the tests, the trials, the failures, and reached success together. So you have this bonded relationship through everything that you've been through. You can become a better leader when you look for ways on how you can help the person to your right and your person to your left. I want to remind you quickly of today's 4 points. Becoming a better leader starts with focusing on the strengths of your team members and how they apply it to their position. Number 2, becoming a better leader means learning to be a better listener and slower to speak. Number 3, becoming a better leader means that you empower your team to do their work and make decisions. Number 4, becoming a better leader means that you honor and support your team members, that you truly look for how you can help the person to your right and to your left. From these 4 keys, comment below which one, if you implemented it today, do you think would have the greatest impact on your organization, on your business, or in your relationships? I hope that you take time to implement these 4 keys and become the better leader that I know is possible. Remember, great leaders know that it's not on themselves, but it's on the ability of their team. So today, help yourself and your future self out by investing in those to your right and to your left. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications of new videos coming out every week. For now, check out this video, How to Attract People to You.